Also reviewed this week, something of interest. Rimini. Tell us about Rimini.
Where do you stand on Ulrich Seidel?
What?
Okay.
You keep asking me these questions that I don't quite get.
Austrian director Ulrich, formerly Ulrich Seidel, who won a Venice Grand Jury Prize for Dog Days in 2001, which I have introduced more than once, I think, on Film 4 and also on the Channel 4. I think on Channel 4. He went on to make films like Import Export, which offer a particularly grim view of human life. He's somebody whose films are, to describe them as dyspeptic would be to be incredibly kind. So this new movie kind of has its roots in Import Export, because while they were making that, Seidel saw Michael Thomas, who's appeared in his films, singing a Sinatra song at a restaurant. And he thought, oh, I'll create a character around the fact that I didn't know that he could sing. So enter the character of Richie Bravo, who is a washed-up singer who looks like an aging Elvis impersonator from the Las Vegas pantsuit period, now doing the circuit off-season in a series of restaurants and hotels, basically singing karaoke to his former triumphs. And he sells himself in more ways than one. He performs to the aging audience who once loved him, and then afterwards he sells his services to some of the aging clients who loved him and want to have a little bit more of Richie Bravo in their life. His father, played by Hans-Michael Rehberg, in his final film role, is wasting away in a grim care home. His mother has just died, and he is about to be confronted by his estranged daughter, who he hasn't seen for ages. And when he first sees her, he hits on her because he just thinks she's yet another person come along to worship at the temple of Richie Bravo. I'll play you a clip because one of the interesting things about the film is that it does have a particularly, I think, poignant and on-the-money portrait of a washed-up singer still struggling their way around the circuit. Here we go.
Buonasera. Ich freue mich ganz riesig, meine sehr verehrten Damen und Herren, dass ich heute Abend hier sein darf. Ich freue mich wahnsinnig, dass ihr alle so zahlreich erschienen seid. Habt ihr eine gute Fahrt gehabt? Wart schon baden? Ja? Bei diesem schönen Wetter. Andererseits, man kann sich ja auch aneinander kuscheln. Habt ihr gewusst, dass 60% aller Paare ausgefallenen Sex haben? Ja, die praktizieren das, ja? Wirklich. Montag ausgefallen, Dienstag ausgefallen, Mittwoch ausgefallen. Ja, Sie haben den schon kennt. Ich sehe Ihnen das an, gell, meine Frau? Na ja, gut, damit uns sowas nicht passiert, und ich glaube, wenn ich Sie so anschaue, kann uns das wirklich nicht passieren. Deswegen müssen wir immer bei der Liebe bleiben, bei der Amore. Für die ist Italien berühmt.
So, obviously, if you don't speak the language, you couldn't understand any of that. But
Yes.
What he's doing is he's basically warming up the crowd by saying, it's so wonderful to see you all here. And there's about 18.
And then various jokes about having sex.
And jokes about, yes, I'm going to sing a song about love and sex because, when you get to a certain age, they say sex is miraculous. Monday, it's a miracle. Tuesday, it's a miracle. And everyone laughs. And then he goes into this song. But you saw what I meant about the suit. So here's the thing. Physically, you might not have seen it so much from that clip. He resembles...
Or heard it even.
Yes, but yes, right, you wouldn't hear his physicality. Physically, he resembles Mickey Rourke in The Wrestler. And there's an interesting thing that happens in the film is that the camera follows him. Do you remember the opening of The Wrestler? It's about 5 or 6 minutes when the camera just follows Mickey Rourke, big kind of, chunked up body with that straggly hair tied, back, and the camera just following him through all these really grim settings. And there's a lot of that in this, the camera following this central character. It's like a kind of wounded bear still sort of prowling around the territory that once was his, through dingy corridors, through kitchens, through toilets, and ending up on cramped stages performing to rather sort of paltry audiences. That part of the film I thought was kind of interesting, and I thought that portrayal of faded, not even faded glamour, completely now putrid glamour was something that touched me. The problem is that Seidel's view of humanity is so wretched, so frank, that it quite often sort of tips over into something which I think is prurience. There's there's a constant feeling that the film is about to turn nastier than it needs to. There's also a weird thing going on, which is that he meets his brother at one point, and there is a film about his brother, which is a companion piece to this, which is called Sparta, which was made alongside it. Originally, the two stories were going to be told simultaneously. After this came out, Sparta was then going to play at the Toronto Film Festival and then was pulled because there were all these scandalous stories about the stuff that had happened on set and the fact that the film dealt with the subject of child abuse, which is no surprise, because the director is drawn to those things. And the whole thing had a kind of scandal air about it, which seems to have gone away now. And I haven't seen Sparta. But it's just like what I want an 80-minute movie which is just him on stage doing the washed up singer stuff. I just don't know that I need any of the other stuff. Now, obviously, that's what Seidel does. He makes these films about the very darkest corners of human existence and people being wretched and foul in ways that, because
imagine Christmas around his house.
Precisely so. And I was thinking, this is his Christmas present to you.
Oh, great.
A portrait of a guy who is so desperately attempting to make things right with his estranged daughter that he ends up blackmailing the clients with whom he is having sex after doing it. Anyway, if you would like to put your head down the toilet of life, few people do it as convincingly as
with that recommendation ringing in our ears. Thanks very much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed watching it as much as we enjoyed making it. While you're here, check out all the other videos because they're cool too, aren't they?
Yeah, and if you want to keep up to date with everything Kermode and Mayo's take, then check out our social channels.
I mean, why wouldn't you?
I mean, I would. I have done.
Excellent.